chicken noodle soup. This is my favorite recipe, and it has a couple of twists to it that you may not have done before. You can find the recipe below in the description. As we look at the ingredients, we can see that we've got chicken on the bone, masala wine, fresh dill, and spaghetti instead of egg noodles. The first thing we're going to do is season our chicken by taking some kosher salt, seasoning from about 12 inches above, turning the chicken over, and some salt on the other side, and let that sit for about 15 minutes. Let's peel some carrots. With the celery, we're just going to chop this into smaller dice. So I'm just chopping it into strips and then coming across. I'm going to take a yellow onion and we're just going to roughly chop this into a relatively small dice. For the garlic, I like to turn the knife to the side and give it a bashing. This is the quickest way to mince garlic. And now the fresh dill, it's been washed and dried. We're just going to roll it over itself and then just chop it. We're going to place this in the bowl and we'll save this for later on. What we've got to do now is clean up the board, and I think it's time for us to start cooking. I always want to dry my chicken before I start cooking. This stops it from steaming and it helps you get that golden colour. I'm going to add my Dutch oven to the burner, turn this up to medium high, and then add a small amount of olive oil. Now listen to this sear. Let it cook for about 5 minutes. And then we're going to turn this over. If the chicken sticks, don't worry, give it a little nudge back and forth. After it's cooked for 5 minutes, just take a look at the bottom of that pan. The bottom of the pan, you're going to see a brown crust, and we call that a fond. That is flavour, friends. Add the vegetables that you've just chopped, and we're going to add the masala wine. You could use sherry if you wanted to, you could use white wine, you could also use apple juice. Stir this around. We can see all that brown fond has come off, and that's going to add lots of flavour to this soup. I'm going to add the chicken back to the pan, and notice the skin still on them. That will add lots of flavour. Fresh thyme sprigs. And now we're going to add some chicken stock. What we want to do is actually cover the chicken breasts. This will help the chicken poach beautifully. We're adding a couple of bay leaves and letting this simmer for about 20 minutes. Once that's done, check the temperature of the chicken. It should be fully cooked at about 165 degrees. We're going to remove the chicken breasts, and we want to let them cool before we shred them. We're going to pull out the bay leaves. We're going to pull out those sprigs of fresh thyme. Now we can add some spaghetti, and you'll notice I'm using pasta and I'm not using egg noodles. I've always found it holds up and reheats better. The residual heat from the chicken stock is going to cook the spaghetti. Now that the chicken's cooled, we want to remove the skin. The skin's going to be a little bit tough and rubbery and chewy. I'm going to remove the chicken off the bones. I've always felt that 2 forks is a great way to shred chicken. Now, as you look at it, you can see that I'm shredding it into these big chunks. Now we've got all of our ingredients ready. You can see that the spaghetti's cooked. With that residual heat, it cooked it. We're gonna add the chicken, that fresh dill, and season with salt and freshly milled pepper to taste. Always add some lemon juice. Lemon juice adds such brightness to this soup. Give this a stir. Just look at those chunks of carrot, the big pieces of chicken, the spaghetti. There you have it, my favorite chicken noodle soup.